What up, though? You already know how I go. Smash, like, subscribe, comment. I don't care what you comment as long as you comment. You dig? Big Five Islam to my Moabites. I see Salat to my comrade Melanix. I know y'all somewhere saying I see Salat. Shut out Vince X. You dig? Hey, Mazel Tov, Salam to the Jews. Salam Alaikum to my Akis and my black men in the nation of Islam. You dig? 212, 12, 4 to the Bloods. 410, 412 to the G's. More to my Maniac Latin Disciple homies. Shout out Pac-Man out there in Holland, Grand Rapids doing your thing. I be asking about your boy and everybody know you. You dig, so you doing your thing. Stay free, bro. You ain't no, you know it's nothing but love. Pac-Man, my bunkie I was telling y'all about, I love that brother, man. We used to fight in the room. We used to cook. We used to do everything together. Um, Let me get straight into this video real quick. I want to show y'all or tell y'all how I kind of like got cool and got benefits from nurses and staff and stuff like that. Although I never really had a bunch of drugs coming in or something like that. I never had sex with anybody, but I did get. I was able to cop a little feel on a female, and I was able to exchange notes with a female staff member. So we all know prison is just predator behavior. You pick the weakest link. So with the female guards, a big homie put me up on this in level one, how you talk to guards. And I never had, or guards or nurses or any staff, I never had the cojones to talk to them while I was looking for paroles. But once I was on my last flop, I had nothing to lose. I was in the hole all the time. I didn't mind. So what I would do is, for my best shot, I would pick the ugliest. And God don't make no ugly people, but just general perception of what beauty is, they were considered not good looking at all. They weren't good looking. The bigger ones. A lot of women come into prison with low self esteem. Like some of them women, dudes would never look at them in the world like that. But when they come in there, oh my God, you know, it's guys. And then there's other guys that, you know, they don't have a chance, or they just are mean, or they just mean people. They would call them ugly. Ugh, look at her. They'll say it out loud so they can hear them, but not really know who they talking about. And you know, the women would go from smiling to putting their head down. Those are the ones that I wanted that was affected by the comments that other inmates said. Um, Now, as far as the guy who put me up on game about it, who to target or how to target people, what he told me was, tell them something that they want to hear, like you looking out for them. So if you hear COs talking about this particular officer, especially if they knew, oh, she don't do this, she don't do this, she don't do that, or even to him, hey, he don't do this, he don't do that, he lacking this, or they might call him by his first name, and I'll come to him and I'll say, hey, is your first name Rebecca? Yeah, how do you know that? Well, they were talking about you up there in the front. And I'm like, man, you cool. You always speak when I see you. You always nice to me, even though I'm in prison. You could be a real jerk. And they'd be like, oh, someone would be like, oh, for real? Yeah, what did they say? And I would tell them. And then we would build a relationship like that. When nurses used to come around to the cells when I was in the hole and stuff like that, I would ask them, hey, you know, I'm always respectful to you. I'm always nice. I don't pull out my penis when you walk around. I don't talk about you, nothing like that. I just want a favor. If you can, just hear me out. And if they say yes, I'll say, hey, do you mind if I slide you a few words on paper? So one day, this nurse that I had no chance with, or nobody did, she used to snitch on all the other nurses. So this nurse that I really liked, she was an older woman. She was cool, never tried to really do anything to her, but I'm so sadistic in there and dumb or whatever. All right. So this nurse, I forget her name. We just gonna call her Rebecca. Rebecca came to the room. She dropped a bunch of medication in my room. Like I was in a hole. You got the glass and a door. I was at the bottom cells where nobody wanted to be. They had to put me down there because of allegations from other COs. I remember this one CO wrote me a bold ticket just to get me out of regular cells because he was in fear that I would throw something on them, and he didn't want me to be able to communicate effectively. That's why they put people in the bottom cells, because they don't want you to be able to yell out. They want it to be harder to pull stuff in the room. So you got bars, regular bars that you can fish out of, communicate, yell out of, but then you got the lower levels at the bottom for the people like me who pop sprinklers, you know, who hold trays, hostages, hostage and stuff like that. So they put me down there. He wrote me a bold ticket. He put me down there. He complained to the administration. I don't want him in that room no more. Y'all left him in there because they were supposed to extract me out the cell one day. And I'm like, y'all better suit up. I'm about to pop the sprinkler. I'm gonna make y'all come in here and get me. It was almost by shift change. They're like, forget it. We just gonna write you a ticket and you can stay up here. They didn't even write me a ticket. But the next day I came and the guy was like, damn, they didn't take you out the cell. He came back and wrote me a bold ticket. So anyway, they put me in this bottom cell where nobody want to be at because it has a door over. So she came inside, she gave me my meds, she turned around, dropped a bunch of prisoners' medication. That's a big, big, big no. You get fired for that. So the next day, the nurse that I do like, we're going to call her Nice Lady. We just call her Nice. Miss Nice. Miss Nice come. I say, hey, somebody dropped this. She like, who was it? Wait, hold on. It was her. Oh yeah, give me that. I'm going to take a picture. Everything. I'm telling on her because she want to snitch on everybody else. I said, all right. Give it to her. But I keep some. The head nurse came to my room for a statement. I knew they was going to come for a statement. Didn't give them one. And the head nurse, she was so nice, and she's from up north, but she had so much swag. She used to have the best scrubs on, hair always did, Cartier glasses. This white lady from the country just had so much swag. I liked her. I said, I can't talk to you. I don't want to talk to you right now. She's like, well, I'll come back, but I'm gonna need a statement for you. I'm like, if it was you, would you want me to tell on you? She like, yeah, I feel that, I understand that, but I'm gonna have to come back for a statement again with my supervisor just to make sure you don't want to give one about this nurse. So the nurse, Rebecca, the lady I don't really care for, she comes. I got the bright idea to be like, hey, you know you dropped some medication in here the other day. She's like, oh yeah, I heard about it. I'm like, yeah, I give it to her. She like, yeah, you better write a statement. I told them that I don't want to write a statement. They're gonna come back again and ask me for one. She was like, oh, for real? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you cool and everything. I don't want to get no trouble or nothing or have them hate me for not, writing no statement. She's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, it depends on what you're going to do for me. And her face just dropped. She's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I would like a sub. I would like some sugar. I would like this. I would like that. I would like a real pen. Would like some real paper in the hole. That's what I would like. She was like, you know what? I come back at lunchtime. Let me think about that. So she comes back at lunchtime and she give me mustache of stuff that she remembers. She's like, well, is there anything else you want? I'm like, as a matter of fact, I do. I want some, go on the internet, give me some buzz shots, this, that, this, not from her, but, just like some Demi Lovato, Amber Rose. I want all this, and that. So the next day she brings that, and therefore now I got her on the line. That's what it is. So the nurse that told on her came to my room. I reminded her, I was like, you know what happened to this such and such officer, right? He got urine through in his face. She said, yeah. Did he tell you how that happened? She's like, well, I heard that you made a sex offender do it. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm pretty pissed about you going to write this statement on me and put my name in it when I didn't give you permission to go do that. Now you making me look like a snitch, and I got to deal with all this. Her face, big old eyes, right? So I say, look, do something for me. She was already cool. She was already doing little stuff, but I got way more out of her. I got corned beef sandwiches, steak, salt and pepper in the hole. Anybody who been in the hole, you know you need some salt, pepper, everything for that food. She brought me like 10, 15 seasons, salt, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, big pens, sugar, concentrate, gave me all types of extra pills, real pills for the people that's terminally ill, that, because they don't prescribe narcotics and MDOC except for the rarest occasions. So she was bringing me little Norcos and stuff like that, but I was in the hole, so I could only sell like one or two of them or something like that. Here and there, she was just I'm mad I did it to her because she was a beautiful lady, but she was giving me everything every day. I'm the only guy in the hole sending a quarter piece of corned beef to my homeboy, quarter piece of steak to my homeboy, a little bit of potato, asparagus. I was in the hole eating crazy. I'm like, man, all this stuff in my prison bit that happened to me, I should have been doing this earlier. I might have been able to run up a couple thousand, but that's how I went and did it. But a lot of people that come work there, especially for the food company, I remember it was a lady there, man. She was just bumps all over her face, just weak, like weird looking. But she had the biggest booty on her I ever seen on a white woman. Man, she was thick, and she was very insecure about herself. People used to talk about her, and she'd get mad, walk off the line, come back with tears in her eyes. But a guy from Flint ended up getting in real good with her, and then another guy from no, excuse me, a guy from Detroit ended up getting real good with her. Then the guy from Flint kind of took her from him, and it was a whole little stabbing situation over that. That can get you killed, for real, for real. And I'm gonna tell y'all the story about this one nurse that I took from a guy and how they tried to get on me about it or whatever. But I showed my muscle on them guys for real, for real. I hope y'all enjoyed this story, man. Peace and blessings be to y'all.